you just mentioned IR. Can you kind of give us a rundown on the Cowboys practice report?
Yeah, absolutely. Couple changes, one positive, one not so much, but we'll start with the two headliners, or three headliners technically. So Johnathan, Hankins, and Tyron Smith obviously both missed last week. Hankins, that was his second consecutive miss with the high ankle sprain, and he's working his way back. But, I like what I'm hearing from Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones, and they sound at least 51-49 as far as the odds are, as far as optimism is concerned. I'm not so optimistic. If I were a betting man, and I'm not, but if I were, I would bet that Johnathan Hankins doesn't play in this game. And the reason I say that is because they feel, rightfully so, that they're trying to balance staving off a 3-game losing streak with not exacerbating an issue on your primary run stopper who's having a great season and you need him in the playoffs. So they're trying to, walk that line when it comes to Johnathan Hankins. And again, I like what I hear Jerry and Mike saying, but I don't necessarily see it happening. Now, if he does, it'll be a pleasant surprise to me. He's not been ruled out or anything. We'll see what today's injury report looks like. Also for Tyron Smith, a little bit more optimism when it comes to Tyron Smith, but not as far as the injury report itself goes, because he was DNP, which did not participate both yesterday and the day before. Yeah. So he's not started taking any team work. But I will also say, keep in mind, he's on, quote-unquote, the plan anyway, so he's not going to practice. So the injury report could be a little bit deceptive when it comes to Tyron Smith in that capacity. It does sound like the team has more optimism that Tyron will take the field. We spoke with Tyron earlier this week, and he said that he just needed the back to, quote-unquote, calm down, and he said it now has. He said it's not a stinger. It was just like back tightness, and they needed to work through it, and it sounds like it's mostly, if not completely, worked through. I have much more optimism on Tyron based on what he said and what McCarthy and some of the people around the building are saying. I would put Tyron at nothing too high. Let's just say 60-40. Maybe he plays. If it comes to Johnathan Hankins, I'm kind of like 40-60. But we'll see how that goes. Rico Dowdle, he was downgraded. He only had 2 touches, or I should say 2 handoffs last week against the Dolphins, 4 yards. I think that ankle is really starting to bother him. That's why they elevated Malik Davis twice in a row. So you'll probably see Malik Davis with his 3rd and final elevation of the season coming up this weekend. I wonder if they just go ahead and make Rico inactive to make sure that he gets right for the playoffs. Stephon Gilmore suffered what he told us was a rib injury. I know some people thought it was an arm, but he said it was a rib injury. On Sunday night, he said he was fine. The next morning, that's basically what was echoed around the building. Stephon Gilmore is going to play against the Dolphins. And the others, you have Malik Hooker. He's progressing with his ankle injury. He went from limited to full. Hunter Lipke had a thigh issue, went from limited to full, also had a fumble issue. Hopefully that's going from limited to full.
That is the Injury Spotlight presented by OSMI. OSMI provides arthroscopic and robotic-assisted orthopedic surgery, foot and ankle surgery, sports medicine, physical therapy, and a ton more. Their team of orthopedic specialists have offices in Fort Worth, Decatur, and Mansfield to provide state-of-the-art orthopedic care to the North Texas area. When it comes to medical care, you and your loved ones deserve the best possible experience. So schedule your hassle-free appointment today at osmifw.com.